Hey everyone, hope you're doing absolutely amazing. I just want to take a moment to say thank you so much for all of the support. And to all of our new listeners, it's so great to have you. If you guys haven't, we have over 180 episodes, so I would highly encourage for you to all go watch those where you'll see where I was a personal trainer, able to break in with the largest company in the world with Medtronic, come in as a full line rep, and then now where we are at a regional sales manager running the whole US and the Western USA. And the reason I'm just telling you all that is because I love getting on phone calls with you. But I would just encourage you to go do your research, go do your homework, because these episodes are made to be helpful for you all. And then if you don't, make sure you make a LinkedIn. You're going to need one if you want to break into medical device sales. So make a LinkedIn, reach out to me, Jacob McLaughlin on LinkedIn, or New to Medical Device Sales on LinkedIn, as well as all the other platforms. But today's guest, I'm so excited to have today because this is one of the people in the course that is just a grinder, was able to just continue to keep going, got lots of job offers, but they needed to be the right one for his position. And so today we have Tyler, who is a nurse, who decided to make the jump into the course and then decided to break into medical device sales. But he has come in at one of the highest paid students we've ever got placed. And we are so proud to have him a part of the community. We are so proud of him for all the success he's had. But I just want to say, you're going to see why I absolutely am a big fan of Tyler. He's just an amazing dude. He's a great father, a husband, a good Christian guy who just continues to work hard, stay positive, and he has continued to go through the battles that he went through during this journey, which you'll hear in the podcast. And I just want to say how proud I am of him. And if you guys are interested in medical device sales, our average person in 2023 is breaking in 8.2 weeks at $94,478. Very proud of that stat. Tyler definitely helped that stat, so thank you very much, Tyler, for the income portion of it. But just want you guys to know, if you guys are really serious, you can press the link down below. Always happy to schedule a call with you all. Again, we only take 10 people a month. We only take really serious human beings that want to be a part of it, but we know that we're going to get you hired. So again, if you guys would, I would just ask you to reach out, do your homework. The one thing I always have to say is I, Jacob McLaughlin, am only a part of New to Medical Device Sales. I'm not a part of any other company or any other program. So if you heard that, I am so sorry, but that is not the truth. We are only part of ours because we are busy getting our people hired very quickly at a lot of money in our own program. So that's what we're doing. And then again, you guys, it would mean the world to me if you can share this with somebody, because we want to just continue to keep providing value. So if you think this could help somebody, you share this. That would mean the world to me. If you guys are watching on YouTube, a like and subscribe will help us grow this channel. If you're listening on the podcast, a 5-star review helps us grow it again. If you can share this with people, because the whole goal is to grow and just help as many people as we can. So really appreciate the support, appreciate everything that you guys do, and hopefully this episode is helpful. Let's get into it. Welcome back to New Medical Device Sales. I am your host, Jacob McLaughlin, and today I am so excited to be bringing you a guest who is an absolute rock star, someone who has become a friend through this journey, and someone I am just so proud to bring you all, because I know his story is going to give you A, so much hope, but B, it's going to get you guys so inspired. He's an amazing dude. So today we have the opportunity of having Tyler Lyon, who is 31 years old. He was a nurse for the last 7 years, worked in pretty much every division that you can think of as a nurse. He is married, has a baby girl, 3-year-old, that I get so passionate about because of what has happened, him going through the course, him breaking into medical device sales. He now will make more than him and his wife working full-time just off of a base that he just got hired in med device sales. And now he's going to work less, make more. His wife gets to quit her job to now stay home with their baby girl, and he will now get to live his dream of being a family man, providing for them and spending time with them. I'm so jacked for today's episode. So Tyler, before I just start crying, welcome to New to Medical Device Sales podcast, man.
It's such a blessing to be here. I've been looking forward to this for a very, very long time. The journey to get here was not linear by any means at all, but here we are. I'm excited to chat about my journey and to talk about all things medical device sales.
Well, dude, you definitely have earned it. This is going to be your show, and I can't wait for people to find out who you are and the blessing you're going to be to them. But Tyler, so I gave you a little quick intro. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, a little more detail, like you were a nurse? I know you went in different divisions. Just kind of that background. Who is Tyler?
Yeah. So, you said a lot of it there, but I think the most important thing about me as a person is I'm a Christian man, a husband, and a father. Those are the most important things in my life. There's nothing there's nothing in this world that's more important to me than my wife and my daughter. They're just a huge blessing in my life, and they are my motivating factor. So, what I do for a living, up until this point, I have been a registered nurse. I've worked in the cath lab, the ICU, and as a house supervisor, which is kind of it's a manager type role. It's kind of a go between the managers and the staff. So, a great career path that I've taken up to this point. Nursing has been life changing for me. It's been a really good career choice. But when you have family, it changes everything. Everything changes whenever you have a child of your own, and there's a lot of parents out there that can probably relate to that. Your motivation, it changes. It's no longer what can I do for myself, how can I advance myself. It's how can I set my future up for my family as well as I can.
Yeah.
And but it come to a point in my career where my upside felt capped. I felt like that God had given me a ton to do, a ton to offer. I felt like I really had a place in the healthcare community, but I felt like there's more for me out there. There's more that I could do. There's more room to grow. There's more earning potential. There's all these things that I could, go down the path of. So I was very blessed in my journey to have connections before I jumped into the program that I exhausted before I jumped into the program. Trust me, for those of you out there who work in the healthcare field, sometimes having those connections early on is not enough. Sometimes you need a little bit more. So I took the plunge. I decided to take a bet on myself, and boy, it was the right thing to do. And you talk about family. I told you before we jumped on here that I had a couple things. So my wife is actually pregnant. So we have another one on the way.
Come on, man.
Yeah. Even more to be motivated by. That we don't know what we're having yet. So, but it'll be here. The baby will be here in late December. So another blessing on the way, and just a little bit more motivation to get out there and grind and do what I need to do to help advance my positions.
Dude, come on, making me about to cry on the podcast. I'm so happy for you guys. Like, first off, congratulations. Like, I'm so pumped for you, man. The one thing I just want to say before I even dive into any med device sales is Tyler is a true family man. And it's what I love about him the most, and how much he truly cares about his family. And it's why we connect. And I love your pride for your family, what you want. And like, everything that you're doing. It's not by accident that all this is happening. You're a very intentional human being, and just seeing it, it's just amazing, man. So first off, congratulations to you and your family. I'm so excited for you guys.
Thank you so much.
That's awesome. But the one thing I did want to just mention is, I talk to probably 5 to 10 nurses a week, because this is a common thing. And so I just want to put this out on the podcast, because no different than Tyler, when I say this, I talk to every nurse, and every single time I just say, hey, you don't even have to tell me. I already know it, because here it is. You're capped on hours. If you want to make more, you have to work more. There's not much growth that you can really do. You don't get treated with that much respect. The laws are kind of against you, because now we know there's laws that doctors can tell you what to do. You go through with it, and you actually can still get in trouble. It's the common theme of the growth, the money, the financial. If you're going to work hard, you might as well be compensated. And that's why we have so many nurses come into the program, because we know. But the thing is we get nurses. My average nurse, and I say this on all of our phone calls, there are not many nurses that I've ever had come into our program that come in at under 6 figures, because you guys have great clinical experience. You know what you're going for, but you have to, just like Tyler said, and this is what people miss out so many times, is I have so many people say, Jacob, I already know someone from this company or this. And I'm like, great, but all that does is get you a seat at the table, even if you crush it. Now you still have to beat out 500 people. And I tell you guys every single day, I get nurses every day reaching out doing this. So what's different between you and the other nurse? What's different between you and the nurse who's now in med device sales, who's switching companies? You're not going to beat them if you don't know what you're doing. And so that's where we come in and have it. But I wanted to put that out there, because there's so many nurses that are going to be listening to this podcast who are like, that's what I'm going through. I know that. And I just want you guys to know we understand that, because that's literally what we do. And we've worked with so many people. But Tyler, so that it was like, there's more, you got more to offer. You have a cap. You now are coming in. I just will say this, guys, is we're not going to go into as much detail, but Tyler is coming in as one of our highest paid students to ever get placed. And that story is so super sweet for us, because it wasn't like it was just handed to him. As you're going to hear in the next 20 minutes, is he had to work it off. He had jobs offered to him from top companies and pulled back and retracted. It has been a grind. And that's why I love this man so much, is because not once did he ever feel bad for himself. Not once did he ever say this isn't working. He understands to trust the process. We talked about this. I remember telling him 4 months ago, where it's like, it's not happening to how we thought it was going to, but I promise you, you're probably going to come in as one of our highest paid. And now it is. Now he's living his dream. So I just have to state that for everybody. But Tyler, can you tell us, so what made you make the switch to medical device sales? Because again, we know that it was like, hey, you kind of tapped out, you're there. But then what was it? What was that process of like, okay, so you got in the course, you wanted to do med device sales. What was the most like pulling reason to do med device sales? And then what was that process like for you?
Well, I think you kind of alluded to it earlier. I'm a family person. I love my family. And for the past, let's see, I've been nursing for 7 years. There's going to be a lot of nurses listening to this. So you get it. You've either worked Black Friday or Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, Easter. You work all these holidays. You're so pulled away from your family. You just don't have the time. It's not that we were not making a good living, because we did fine as nurses. I'm not complaining about that. It's what medical device offers outside of financial that is the biggest impact for me. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining about the pay. It's great. But what it offers from outside of the actual healthcare, like being hands-on in the patient room, is just I can't say enough good things about it. And you said a lot there about the nurses and getting in, and I will say a few things. One, as a nurse, you have a lot of value. You bring a lot of value to the table, especially those of you who worked through COVID. You understand what it's like to be in the trenches. You understand what it's like to deal with hard situations, and you can spin that in your favor. And the second thing I would say is you're still impacting patient care. Nurses don't get into nursing for money. At least most of the ones that I know don't. I don't know many that do. I'm sure there's some, I'm sure. But nurses get into it because they have a genuine heart for caring for other people. It's what they have, a heart of being a servant. They want to help others. They want to drag people out of their lowest positions and help them to be better people. A lot of times when you look at med device, people see it as the other side, the dark side, whatever they say. But you're still impactful. You're still doing something that's going to help someone, help better their lives. You're making a huge difference in their lives. You're not just some guy who's coming in to push product. You're some guy who's coming in oral to add value. You're coming in with a product that's going to improve someone's life. And when you present that to a provider or a nurse or whatever it is that you may be presenting to, whenever you can show how this is going to make a difference in someone's life, and they make the plunge and they decide, all right, you know what, we're going to go with what Tyler wants. We're going to go with what he's bringing to the table. You have now impacted everyone that facility is going to come into contact with. And you have you cast this broad net of helping others that, a lot of people think that you're getting away from, but you're not. It's just finding a different way to attack patient care. So it was a no-brainer for me. I was at this intersection in my life where I got another child on the way, and I'm sitting here fighting with myself, thinking I'm the man of my household. I should be able to provide for my household. And there's other things that I could have done outside of healthcare, outside of med device sales, that would have had the same earning potential. There's other opportunities that I had. You alluded to it earlier. I had many job offers while I was in this program. And I had opportunities outside of healthcare altogether. But, when I think to myself, selfishly, I still want to help other people. That's why I became a nurse. That's why I do what I do. Getting away from that just seemed like a smack in the face. And I couldn't bring myself to do that. So everything kind of came together at this pivotal section for me, where it's like, okay, I want to make a change. I want to have better potential. I want to have a better work-life balance. I selfishly still want to help others and be in a position to be resourceful and be someone that you go to and say, hey, can you help me with X, Y, and Z? And I'm the guy that's got the information. I love that feeling. It's so empowering. And it come together. It kind of comes to this intersection of opportunity and grit and passion, and it all converged. And it, like I said, it wasn't an easy process. But whenever you trust that God is going to take care of you, and that regardless of what happens, that all the ups and downs, no matter what they are, when you trust that the end point, that there's something good for you that's meant for you, it makes it so much easier. It makes it so much more worthwhile.
Come on, man. And a couple things, man. I'm getting chills as we're talking about this. Number one, so many nurses, as I've gone through this world of being in med device sales, they'll look at you as when you come in as a rep as a negative in certain points. And not all of them, but some of them will, because they'll be like, oh, you're just trying to sell. What you don't understand when you're a nurse, and now what Tyler gets to do is, guess what? Tyler has experience with the products that he's already selling. So who better to be the expert to make sure that it's the patient getting the best possible care than Tyler? That's what so many nurses miss, because they'll be like, oh, you guys come in, you make this money. And I'm like, you could too. You could too. You could come in
Mhm.
and what you think though is that
Yep.
we're like they demonize it to be like, oh, you're just hungry people making money, all this stuff. But what you don't understand is no, we're doing it because it's what we teach and what I'm so passionate about in our program is why I get so serious, why you guys see the passion come into me is I know the people that we help are going to go and make patients' lives better. They're going to go sell a product, get the best patient outcome. Then because of that, yes, they will hit their quota, but that's because not because of the money, but because of their caring about the people that they're actually helping. And then because of that, financially, yes, they will be rewarded because it's not for free. And guess what? Because of that, then they will be able to go bless their families. And then from there, they'll have excess money, more money, and be able to go bless others. Why we do scholarships, why we do nonprofits in this program. It's because we believe about giving back. And so that's why I get so passionate about is because exactly what Tyler just said is so many people will have the wrong mindset of being like, oh, these reps or these clinical specialists or whatever are just here for money when you could actually be the best asset in the room to make sure that person on the bed under surgery is getting the best possible care because you've gone through it. Who better than the nurse for 7 years to be able to be like, no, I've seen this. I know what needs to be done. I have a passion for what I'm selling. So I have to state that because so many people will look at it in the wrong light. And you have to see actually the plus that it is amazing. Now, number two, how we get people hired at over 6 figures for most of our nurses is because many of them, like Tyler said, don't want to have a quota right away. So guess what? We have them go in as a clinical specialist role. Well, a clinical specialist role normally is not going to have a quota. It's more patient facing, what you guys are used to doing. And then now you can be able to go and support that. We've got them hired from anywhere from 100 to all the way to $165,000. Like there are those possible ways out there. But again, you have to know what you're doing. You have to know that process. But the reason I'm just saying that is it goes back to my whole thing of why I get so passionate about. When Tyler came into our program, he said, hey, man, my whole goal is I want to be able to provide for my family. I want to be able to still make impact on this world, but I also want to be able to spend time with my family and provide for them. And knowing that he now is going to go in, and I know he's going to make such a difference in this industry, save so many patients' lives, and make a positive impact on their lives and the people that he's in contact in the hospital with, because who he can relate to because of his past experiences. Now his wife gets to be home with their baby girl. Watch this. Now she's having another baby. So it even works even better. And I get even more jacked about it. And he's going to work less, make more financially so he can be able to provide for his family and spend that time with his family. That's why I get so emotional. That's why I get so passionate about it, because that's what this is all about, guys. Like what I will just say this after somebody who's been able to do it, the money means nothing. All the money does is buy you back your time and the freedom. So unless you're making the impact, number one, and then if you're not with your family and not being able to do the stuff with people you love, what is this all worth? Like that's what people just don't understand. And so Tyler, I just want to tell you, man, I'm so dang proud of you because you got punched
I
in the
appreciate it.
face time and time and time again, guys. Like Tyler didn't even go through half of the experience of, he went through the interview process, literally went through the whole process, got hired by one of the top companies at over 6 figures to just have them retract it as he was going to start. Right. And then he had to stay positive and be like, man, I'm going to go. And now that the more beauty of it is he's with the company he's more excited about, makes more money. And the last thing I just want to have before I have Tyler chime in on that is going back to, he's a Christian man. And like, I'm the same way. And I just gave our team a whole talk, like our whole Wednesday, we do office hours. And if you guys saw it, I posted it on our Instagram. I should post it on our TikTok, but it was just me saying, I believe in you guys, because I listened to a song last week and it was just talking about God saying, God wants you to win, man. He wants the best for you. So many times people will be like, something bad happened. Like even this morning, I've had not great calls this morning with just family and life and stuff. And I could just be like, why are you doing this to me? Why am I going through this compared to, hey, that's life. There's going to be things, but understand you have someone on your side that's going to help you. And also he wants you to win. And again, I'm just going to say this. This is my podcast. I will talk about God all I want. If you guys do not believe in that, that is fine. Look at it as this way. There in the energy in the world, they want you to win. You have to believe it, and you will not believe it. You won't achieve what you won't achieve unless you believe it. And so I will just say this real quick, because I said this to our course members. You won't get jobs for $150,000 if you don't believe you're worth $150,000. You can't make $1 million if you don't believe you're worth $1 million. So what I need you guys to do is, what we teach in the course is not only how to break into medical device sales and get multiple job offers and come in, but it's also to build you up to the person that you have to become. Because Tyler, as a nurse, And Tyler, as the medical device sales rep and clinical specialist, and wherever he goes in this career, is two different human beings with two different mindsets. And he's growing so much in that, because if he keeps the $70,000 mindset as a nurse, he won't be able to do $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 in medical device sales while helping patients. So I just had to state that, because, man, you get me so riled up. I just love where your heart's at. I love how you just put in the work, and you're the guy who just never quit. And look at you now. We're just smiling on a podcast that I told you you'd be on a long time ago.
I know it. I know it. I love it. For those of you listening, go ahead and rewind it 6 minutes and listen to it all. I can't say it any better. I mean, you, especially my clinical folks out there, you're worth that amount of money. And it's weird. It's weird going into these interviews and they say, "What's your salary expectation?" It's weird saying $130,000. It's not normal. It's not comfortable. But that's your value, and that's what you bring to the table. You've got a load of clinical experience. You've got all these experiences that no one else can have. Yeah, you've got a biomedical engineering degree. I don't care. I don't care. There's nothing that can take away from the time that you've spent at bedside being hands-on with a patient. You can't take that away. It's so valuable, and it's such a blessing to have that experience and be able to use that experience to be in this position. And you talk a lot about the program. The program, it does a lot. So I will say, before I got into the program, I was exploring other options. There's other programs out there.
Yep.
I won't, of course I'm not gonna say who they are or what they are, but I was having conversations with them. I had consultations, and they just felt, man, I don't know the word to describe it. They just felt impersonal. They just didn't feel great. I heard one or two of your podcasts, and on one of your podcasts, you were talking about how you start your day and how you do things, and how you set each day up for success, and how your building blocks, your foundation for your day. And you said you start your day out with a devotional. And I remember hearing that and being like, like you don't hear that terribly often. Not that it's an unpopular thing to do, but you just don't hear. It's kind of, people are afraid to talk about their Christianity, afraid to talk about their faith, which I don't think you should be, which is why I've been vocal about it here. But you talked about that, and I remember thinking to myself, this is it. This is where I need to be. And you shot me a message, actually. And we chatted for a little bit. I said, "Hey, let's call." I'd done next to no research before I jumped into this program, just so you know, like hardly any. I had 3 questions I asked you when I started. Can I get a job where I am? Do you do what for clinical specialists? Which is a stupid question looking back at it, because if you do any amount of podcast listening, there's like 170 episodes?
180
like
plus now.
How many are there now? 180. So, okay, 180. There's tons of free resources out there for you. Just do your diligence, listen to those, and it'll help you make that decision. I had one more. It was about how much money I could make. Is it true that I can make this much money? Because there's a lot of things in my life that I'm unwilling to change. I'm in a position where I live very close to my wife's family, and that is so valuable. Having someone there in case things hit the fan, being able to just run next door to my in-laws and spend the afternoon, have dinner, is so awesome. I wasn't willing to bend on that. I wasn't willing to bend on, from a financial standpoint, because I needed my wife to be able to stay home. I don't want to pay someone to raise our kids. A beautiful, strong, independent wife, a very faith-based wife who wants to raise kids, and that's what I want for her. So, and it really was a no-brainer to me. Like, whenever we talked, it felt like a conversation with guys. It didn't feel like someone trying to make a sales pitch. It felt like someone hearing the questions that I had. It felt like someone listening to the things that I value and understanding where my value is, and showing how this program can help that. And from where I had worked, being in the cath lab, I worked with reps, I worked with clinicals all the time. I had a good understanding of what the process would be like, but at the same time, I didn't at all. Like, I didn't know. How do you know VP of sales? You don't have a clue. You don't know. As a bedside nurse, you're asked questions in the interview process like, if you're an animal, what kind of animal would you be? Like, stuff that's just like, come on, man. Like, this is not helpful at all. But you don't understand how that process works, and there's a lot of confidence to be had in understanding where you are in that process, and knowing the right things to say and how to sell yourself. But I will tell you, the most valuable thing in this program, bar none. I mean, it is. I can't even talk about how important this was for me, and I didn't even know it existed until I got in. It's the mock calls. No offense, it's not the weekly calls with you. You were very helpful. Don't hear what I'm not saying. Yeah. Super helpful. But the stuff that Roxy brings to the table,
yep,
and that community that's built, and being getting into a position where you can be vulnerable and answer questions and try things out and walk through conversations and see how other people do things, man, you learn so many different ways to talk about the same thing. You learn how to sell yourself. You learn how to market who you are as a person, where your values are. It, there's so much value to be had in those calls. They are, and there's people in the course that don't attend them regularly. Please attend those regularly. Please, they are so good. They are so helpful. And for those of you who will be in this course, because I know people that are listening are going to join in, make it a point to be there for those. It did not line up with my schedule at all. I worked every Tuesday. They were on Tuesdays, but here I was in the car on the way home, listening, trying to chime in where I could. I'd get home, eat a quick dinner, and I'd go in my garage because my daughter was asleep, and I'd set my phone up and I'd be in there. I mean, you can go back and watch the recordings when you get in. You'll see my cars, you'll see my garage. So that's where I spent my time, but that's where I got the most value. That's where, whenever I reflect on this and think, was it worth it? Did I really need to do that? Yeah, I absolutely did, because I had no idea how to talk about myself. I had no clue how to talk about my past. I had no idea how to manipulate those into something that's advantageous from a hiring manager to hear somebody say. I've done crazy stuff in my career. I've recovered people after open heart surgery. I've been in the trenches of COVID. I've been in leadership. I've been in the cath lab, which, if you don't know, it's of course 95% of the time it's nothing. It's a lot of fun, but 5% of the time it's just pure terror, and people's lives are at your fingertips. You're the one who's there making a difference, and spinning that into a way that's, our hiring manager will look at that and be like, yeah, like this guy can handle pressure. This guy can talk the talk. This guy knows how to have conversations with physicians and providers. I didn't know how to do that beforehand. And you're not really taught how to do that as a nurse, but this program set me up for success. It's a well-placed alley is what it is.
Love that, man. And I appreciate that, because that's the biggest thing is, first off, Roxy, shout out. As you always know, she is a rock star, but it's why we do the mock interviews and the mock role plays, because it's what I tell people. People always ask, hey, what is your course about? It's a course, but it's more a mentorship, because the whole conversation is, yeah, you can go watch the courses. Yeah, you can do the information. But like you said, like I tell people, I can lead a horse to water, but I can't make it drink it. You guys have to show up to the work. You have to do the work inside the course. But the reason I'm saying that is, it's the whole thing. We do mock interviews, mock role plays, because we already know when they're coming at you as a nurse, what they're going to come at you for, because you don't have exactly what they're looking for. That's just med device sales. Even if you were the perfect candidate, they're still going to give you complications, because guess what? No different than doctors. Doctors can know they want to buy my product, but they're still going to give me some objections I need to handle before I can actually get the PO, right? So I just say that that's why we do what we do, is the mock interviews, the mock role plays, all that stuff, because we know the value it provides. Hence why we offer lifetime access to the course, why we do things way different, because this is about providing value to you all and helping you guys break in. Number two, I hope you guys can hear me, hear my heart, hear all of this. I don't need $1 from you. I don't want $1 from you, because that's why we have over 180 free episodes out on the podcast, YouTube. We have days in the life of a rep and now a manager on YouTube for free. We have TikToks, LinkedIn, more social media than you could ever imagine. If you just search medical device sales, you will see our face come up. The reason I'm telling you this is not, when you guys get on a call, like Tyler said, I'm not trying to make a sale. If you see the value in our course, we know we can help you get there. We know we can help you make six figures and do whatever you want, because we've done it thousands of times before. I'm not here to sell you, because if you're going to ask me to sell you on it, I'm going to tell you to go watch the stuff for free and go make your own decisions. Because again, guys, the one thing I'm just going to continue to say this and shout it from the rooftops is, I'm in med device sales. I make a great living off of med device sales. I will be announcing very soon of a massive deal I just won with one of the largest companies in the world, which I cannot wait to share with you all. But the reason I tell you that conversation is, that's how I get paid. I make those deals. I get commission checks. I make my money off that. I don't make my money off the course, because again, how do you guys find us? We put back into it. We go hire more. We get studios. We get better equipment to continue to give value to you all. So the reason I just want to say that to you all is, so many times be like, oh, what are you trying to sell me? All this. I don't want anything from you. If you think I'm trying to sell you, please don't even reach out. Don't even talk to me, because again, we put all the stuff out there for free, because all we're just trying to do is help you guys as much as you can. And then again, Tyler got to see it. He lived it. He was in it, to be able to actually put in the effort. But then he sees the value that we're able to provide outside of just the course, but in the mentorship with Roxy, with great people. Because the last thing I'm just going to say, we don't accept just anybody. It's why we get on calls with every single person. Otherwise, I would just put it on there and just be like, here, buy our stuff. It's not that way for us. We want great human beings, because what you guys will notice from this conversation with this man right here, he's a great human being. And I'm so proud to have him in here. And what I would always just ask myself is, are they coachable? Are they willing to work hard? And are they just going to be committed? And I had no questions with Tyler, which he has gone through this whole way. And this is why I get so more passionate about it, is because now I have a friend out of it. I have someone that I can be able to shoot text with, that I agree with. And again, we have very similar values. And that's what I just love about this. So I just want you guys to hear my heart and where I'm from. This is not about, here, let me make a quick buck. I don't care. Don't pay me $1. Go watch all the stuff for free. It's all we do is save you guys a lot of time and a lot of money and a lot of heartaches and all the wonderings, because so many people will say, well, I'll just watch all the free stuff. That's great. Do that. I encourage you to. But then you're like, what happens when Tyler's been in for 7 years? He has a certain background. A manager asked this specific thing about him. And then he's like, what do I do? That's where we come in. And because we know that that's what's going to happen, that's how you take it to the next level. So, man, I could talk to you all day. I get jacked up, as you know, but Tyler, like, I just want you to know, man, how proud I am of you. I know I've said it a million times, but like, it truly has been a complete honor to watch your grit, to watch how you carry yourself through some of the toughest challenges during this, while working a full-time job, while being a husband, while being a father, and still never making an excuse. When you got kicked down, you said, man, that sucked. Gave yourself the 24 hours to feel bad, but then got back up and said, let's go, baby, let's get it. And now to see you, knowing that you have a second child on the way, just going to be that family man and making that impact, man, I just want you to know I'm so dang proud of you. And thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on the podcast and share with our students your help.
Yeah, and I couldn't have done it without you. It's there's been a lot of people that were very instrumental in me getting through this. Don't come into this thinking that everything's going to be handed to you guys. The resources are there, the value is there, but you have got to put in the time and the effort. If you're not willing to do that, this may not be for you. I mean, I hate to say that, but if you're not willing to step up to the plate, be vulnerable, and work hard, this is not easy. Getting it is not easy, and neither is the job. If you're not going to do it, then think about something else. But I promise you, if you're the type of person that's willing to bet on yourself, if you're the type of person who will act on advice that's actionable, if you're the type of person who's a go-getter, this is going to be great for you. And I learned a lot about myself through this process. I learned a lot about getting knocked down and getting back up. Like you said, I had job offers handed out to me for more money than I could have ever imagined. That was just yanked right out from under me. I went to the final final interview, I think 6 or 7 times, with 3 or 4 job offers before I had one that actually made sense for me. It's about putting in the effort, and I'm very blessed to have, not only you and Roxy, but my wife, Evelyn, who I'm sure is going to listen to this. I love you. I love Emma. I did all this for you guys. I want you to know that this is so that we have time together and that we can do things that we haven't been able to do for the past 7 years of our lives. So it's a huge blessing. And of course, I don't know if Cameron's going to listen to this, but Cameron, you don't know who he is, but I owe you the world as well. You were very helpful for me. I appreciate the guidance. I appreciate the help. You're a good friend of mine, and you've helped make some dreams come true on this end. So I really appreciate that. And for those of you that are listening who think, is this for me? Is this, I fit the bill. I've got some grit to me. I've got some passion. I've got some background. This is maybe I don't have some background, but I've got the drive and desire. If you think it's for you, holler at me. Let's talk. I'm happy to hop on a call with you guys. If you have questions that maybe you feel like, there's no such thing as a good question. First off, it's only dumb if you ask it more than once, is what I was told by my buddy Big Jed, and not to you. So anyone can ask a dumb question, just don't ask it more than once. So if you want to hop on a call, if you want to chat, I'm always available to do so. Maybe a little bit less now as I try to refocus and do things a little bit differently on my end. It's very nice to not be on my phone quite so much, but I'm more than willing to hop on a call and really see if I can help you and make this decision for you and your family, because you are valuable. You do have value. You bring a lot to the table. I'm confident of that. So all my clinical folks, I'm a bit partial. I'll talk to anybody, but my clinical folks, y'all are my people, and you guys deserve much more than you've been led to believe. You guys you're rock stars, and you're going to bring a lot to the table.
I love that, man. Guys, reach out to Tyler. Now, the one thing I'm just going to say, because I say this on all of our podcasts, as we're very aware, you have been hearing me say this, we know most people will just reach out, try to blood suck 30 to 60 minutes out of somebody's life, not even say thank you, because we've seen it and I've had it personally, but now our people are having that. And then the first thing they'll say is, hey, I listen to your podcast. I don't want to take the course. I don't see the value in it. I don't want to spend the money, which again, don't care. That's great. We got all the free things. But what I will say is Tyler's going to be extremely busy. As you hear, he has a family. He has it. Now he's got a new job. Don't get on the time just to waste his time. Like if you're going to get on a call with him, come prepared, come ready to go, and come with good actionable questions. But also understand the one thing I will just say, because nothing gets me more heated, is when somebody will send a message and they don't get a response within 24 hours and they send a passive aggressive message. Oh, I guess you're too busy or whatever it is. And I will just tell you guys, number one, I just hope you never have success if you are that person, because just so you know, you won't, because that's just, it won't play out for you. But the one thing I would just say is when you stop making it all about you and you focus on the other people that you're getting on the call, you will have success. But the reason I'm just saying that is when you reach out to Tyler, please understand that he's busy. If you guys are just trying for free advice to get handed stuff, it's not going to happen. Because just so you guys know, I now instruct all of our people to be like, if they're just trying to get free stuff from you all the time and just wasting your time after 20 minutes, just get off the phone with them. Because I can just sit here and tell you guys, there's so many people who, I'm going to make a whole podcast about this next, will be, I'm so committed, but then they just are blood sucks, don't know what they're doing. And then they just try to get everything for free and then don't even say a thank you. That's how selfish they are. And it is the most bad taste in the mouth. And I can just tell you, even if they break in, they will not be great at what they do. And so I'm just saying that to every single person listening to this. If you're going to reach out to Tyler, make sure you come prepared. Make sure you are serious, because the fact that he will take time with you guys is going to be a big honor because of the busyness. And so I want to say that, Tyler, again, thank you so much for taking time and joining us, man. I'm so proud of you and can't wait to watch you crush it.
I love it, man. I'm ready to get in. Also, to resonate what you just said, if you are not patient enough to wait more than 24 hours for a response, you are going to hate the process. You hate it. You have got to be patient. You have got to sit tight and buckle up. It's going to be a fun ride. And I promise you guys, I promise you that at the end, it's very worth it. Very worth it.
1,000%. So guys, if you can press that like and subscribe button, a 5-star review really helps us grow this channel. Want to just say thank you to all of you for the support. If you guys are really serious about breaking into medical device sales, as you've seen with Tyler and other people, that pretty much everyone from the last year and a half on our podcast has come from our course, and all the testimonials, as you will see on the website, our average person in 2023 is coming in 8.2 weeks at $94,478. If you guys are really interested and you want that help, all we do is save you a lot of time and a lot of money and a lot of guests at work that you're going to try to figure out. That's all we do, is help you guys with that. So if you guys are really interested, click the link below. Also, you guys can find it at Courses New to Medical Device Sales or our page New to Medical Device Sales. Again, just so we can make this clear one more time, I don't want $1 from you. I don't need $1 from you. You guys can go watch all the 180 plus episodes for free. I just put this out there because we know the value we have, and why we charge what we charge is because we know we're giving over a 30x ROI in the first 2 months, and you can't get that anywhere else. So again, this is my last little plug for it, because I'm not here to sell you anything. If you see the value in it, great. We know we can help you and would love to get you there. But if you don't see it, great. Wish you the best of luck. Go watch all the free stuff, hence why we do it. And I hope you all have a great week. We will see you on the next one. Tyler, thanks again, once again, man. And peace.